All right, welcome everyone. Wrestle Buzz post-show review for WWE Fastlane 2023. It's Joey from Wrestle Buzz. If you're listening on podcast feed, thank you. If you're watching me on YouTube, appreciate you as well. Fastlane, what a doozy! I think this was the first PLE under the official merger of TKO, so that's pretty interesting. Didn't really put that into effect until after the show was done, and I saw someone tweet about it. But it's a pretty cool thing, I guess, we're a part of to see. This is the first show. It was a short one. Like, I mean, going into it, 5 matches, like only so much to soak in, but there was a lot of names involved. We have right now going on the press conference after, which is always like a thing, the Saturday Night Wars, I call it, between WrestleBuzz and WWE. It's a joke, obviously, but we always compete with with the press conference. So if you're here watching this instead of that, I mean that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, like I said, a 5 match card going into it. I mean, a lot of names, but a short show. I think depending on how you look at it, I like that instead of like an 8 card show or like how AEW does it, a 14 card show. Like I think that's a marathon that I'm not like at my age. I'm not ready. I'm not really cool to deal with. But uh, today was pull back the curtain a little bit. Take a long day for me. I celebrated my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Was out drinking a little bit before, so I appreciate. I mean, if I have any hiccups here, that's the reason why. But 5 card show, 5 match card, I mean. And before the show started, during the kickoff, recently signed Jade Cargill arrives and greets Triple H in the parking lot. She shows up, like that old school, like we don't see it much anymore. And the pull up in the limo or the car is something we don't see anymore. And we see Jade roll up in the Escalade, and it was pretty cool, man. It was like a throwback to like the back in the day, and I appreciated that. So seeing her show up, didn't make a presence on the show, which I thought she would have, to be fair, but she just greeted Triple H in the back, showed up, made a presence, and I don't know. Will we see her on Raw or SmackDown? It's a great question. She's traveling with. It seems like she's traveling with everybody, so we'll see. Oh, Mizzy, salute from Boston. What's up, Boston? What's going on, man? We're in New York, so I mean, there's that rivalry, but I love everybody. We don't do sports here, so shout out to Boston. But yeah, I mean, Jade. What are we doing with Jade? We don't know yet. We know she's training down in the PC, and we see her show up before Fastlane. I thought maybe she could have showed up after the triple threat, but maybe they're not ready. They just want to like let her know that she's here, and I think that's pretty cool. She looked, I mean, dude, like she looked great, and she always does. So shout out to Jade for making a presence known before the show and kind of got a little buzz going. The social media was buzzing after that for sure. You got a little H2O, man. You got to hydrate after a long day of drinking, right? So cheers to that. All right. The show started off, hot. And Cody and Jay going up against the Judgment Day could have went either way, I think. Me personally, I did a predictions show on the podcast, and I took the Judgment Day. Then I put out my own predictions the 2 days later, the next day or whatever, and I took Cody and Jay. And I mean, you just never know these things. And Cody and Jay come out on top, new tag team champions. Shocked for sure. I'm definitely shocked. And I think you look at it this way as like there's positives to see out of it. Do they go is this the way we get Cody and Jay, or more or less Cody, to be able to show up on SmackDown with reason now that he's an undisputed tag team champion, and Jay to go back and revisit the bloodline stuff, or just even say hello for a minute, right? Do I think they need it? No, but I think it's not a bad thing. But we're back to that little like doubt within the Judgment Day, and I think we're kind of in that that lane where it's like, when are they gonna like take it to the next level? Like I know I love long-term storytelling and stuff, but I feel like with the Judgment Day, they've kind of been like, they get to that point, then they bring it back. They get to that point and then they bring it back. Now, is this the point where they're gonna like keep going and like stick with the the issues within Judgment Day? We'll see. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is Cody's first title win back in his return from WWE, right? Yeah, I think this is like his first one. So I mean, hey, good for him. Is this the way to get him back on SmackDown though, to get towards Roman to finish the story? So it's a huge question. I think looking at the match was, I think it was there was a lot of tonight, like, and we'll get into it as we go match by match, but there was a lot of traditional babyface versus heel like storytelling tonight within the matches, which I never think is an issue, especially with the caliber of wrestler that you have in the card. But I also think, with a 5-match card that it could have used a little extra. I'm not disappointed with the show at all. I think maybe, we'll get towards the end, but Seth and Shinsuke really, up that ante and like kind of showed that they, it wasn't just a typical match. And I think they really did a good job. We'll get to that later. But as for like, the first couple matches, actually, the first 4 matches we saw, it was kind of like typical babyface versus heel aspects. And again, no issue with that, but I thought maybe that's what the card lacked, was a little extra oomph. But yeah, Jay and Cody, new tag team champions. Shout out to them. I'm interested to see how they handle this going forward. And I like to have someone with me on these post show reviews, because like I can throw that at them. Like, what do they think is going to happen with these tag team titles going forward? Because like I can only say so much. So if you're here and you're watching and you want to give me some input in the chat, by all means, throw at me what you think. I'll go back to a topic that I already talked about. What do you think is going to happen with these tag team titles going forward? And we can make a discussion about it. So, but me personally, I think this is a way that Cody can use to get back to SmackDown and, show face over there without just showing up for no reason. I know they were doing that to begin with, but I also think this is a more of a reason to get back involved with that. But I think there's matchups to be seen now too. Will they hold them for a little bit? Will they lose them right away? There's a lot of questions that can come along with this. I'm definitely, I picked them on my social media predictions, but I'm still kind of shocked they won. I'm not gonna lie. So it was pretty cool. A little shock aspect to start the show off. And I mean, overall, solid match. I think you get what you get with these guys. They're all like true professionals. Cody and Jay are like, along with LA Knight, 2 of, if not the most over guys in the company or in the business, you could argue too. And then you got Judgment Day showing up on the press conference here. I mean, I'm not going to get into that match yet, but we will. And actually, no, we will. We'll skip the LWO for now, since they just showed up on the screen. The triple threat for the women's title: Io versus Asuka versus Charlotte. And I had Io win in this one. I'm not going to lie. I had her. I had picked her in both my predictions, and I'm glad she did. Now, this is another thing. It's like it's kind of similar to Judgment Day, where they, within Damage Control, lately, obviously, because Dakota's hurt or she's healing an injury, there's been a lot of back and forth with Bailey and Io, kind of like miscommunications and disagreements. So I was always wondering, like, when is that going to peak? When is that going to finally hit its point? And tonight wasn't it, because Bailey came in, helped out Io, she got the dub, and I think it was huge. And I think the spot to end it is always good. Io has one of the best moonsaults in the business, man, and I love it. It's so impactful, and it just means a lot, like how she does it. But to hit it while Charlotte had Asuka in the figure 8 was perfect. And I think we've probably seen that spot before, but every time it hits, it just top notch. So shout out to Io. The match itself, overall, solid match. I think Io being the champion is huge, and I'm glad she still gets to hold on title. But like, Charlotte and Oscar, two of the top women at least, and two of the top wrestlers, and in my opinion, in all of wrestling. And hard to disappoint with those three involved. And I mean, just a huge shout out to all three of them. I think they did a really good job. Uh, and you kind of end like every match with like what's next for the whoever was involved. So is EO going to continue to run with Charlotte or Asuka, or who's up next? And we mentioned Jade before showing up before the show. Is Jade going to try to find her way in that title picture to start? Who knows? But ideally, I think I have like fantasy booked, like semi fantasy booked WrestleMania in my head. I am going to WrestleMania. Shout out to us and like whoever's going with me. I mean, like it's gonna be a fucking blast. Can't wait. WrestleMania 40 in Philly. It's gonna be fucking awesome. But I think if Dakota's healthy and EO can hold on to the title until Mania, why not have like a triple threat with Damage Control at Mania? I think that'd be fun. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, I mean, as for now, like there's so many players in the women's division that it's kind of hard to see where they're going to go from here on out. Charlotte, Asuka, two of the top. Bayley is the top. I mean, she's never had a WrestleMania moment yet, so I'd love to see her start working towards that to see if they can get her there. I mean, Rhea's doing her thing on Raw. Becky's over there. I mean, there's so many players. Bianca, Alexa. I know she's pregnant. When is she due back after after she has a kid? Not sure. But then you have Jade coming in now, and like, man, there's so many players. Like, who's up next for EO is the big question. So it remains to be seen, and hopefully we'll find out this week, and we'll see another play to see what could be the next match for this WWE Women's Championship. So shout out to them. Great match. Great match. Again, doing these by myself, super hard. Like long ass day, drinking a bunch. I'm fucking tired. I'm parched. I mean, I only have a little bit of water left. This is gonna be a tough one. So appreciate you, whoever's here watch. All right. LWO versus Lashley and the Street Profits. Do they not have a name yet for them? I think they should start working on that. I think after this week, I think I need to see a faction name for the Street Profits and Lashley. But I could have swore yesterday on SmackDown, was it, that they came out with new music, but tonight they came out with their own original music. So I'm not sure how they're working that. Just little things like that I appreciate. Like I know they had the matching gear, great, fun, fantastic, but I also want to see, a little more cohesion. Am I rushing it? Probably, but I'm impatient. So what can I tell you? LWO had a mystery member. Wasn't sure. I mean, if you're, if I don't want to say if you're a smart fan, but if you're kind of like, reasonably knowledgeable, you could have had a whim of who it was going to be when Ray said at SmackDown, I got to make a phone call to see who's going to come help us out. And if you think back a few months at Backlash in Puerto Rico, Carlito was there. He did help him out. And I think that, I mean, like the whole rumor was that he was technically signed to WWE this whole time. Just wait and find the right spot for him. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. And I think, and nothing against Cruz and Joaquin Phoenix in LWO, but I think they just need a little bit more, because I love the LWO, the way they're repping right now, but I also appreciate a little extra oomph, and Carlito gives that. Everyone loves him. Everyone's waiting for him to come back. He's back now. They get the W tonight, which is huge. And I mean, I think, I hate to jump ahead and be that guy, but I really think this is the start where I think we need to see like the LWO kind of get, dump Ray. And I think this is a Carlito getting in Santos Escobar's head. Carlito's not a good guy. Let's be honest. Look at his track record. He was a babyface for a little bit, but he's, mainly a heel. He's not a good dude. And I'd love to see him get in Santos's head, the Cruz and Joaquin Phoenix's head, Zelina's head, and turn on Ray. And I think him leading the LWO into this monster heel run is the perfect way to go. I know they just won. Let's ride with this win. Let's be happy. It's a huge win over Lashley and the Street Profits. Give it a couple weeks, maybe head into Survivor Series or something, or have the turn at Survivor Series. I'd love to see it. And nothing against Ray. I love Ray to death. But I think, Santos needs to ride as a heel. I think he's playing second fiddle way too much to Ray right now, and I'm not like riding along with it too much with Santos's run right now. But I'd love to see Carlito take over this group and kind of show Santos the way, the way. And then Santos eventually, take the reins and just go on a monster heel run. He's got the if you watched Joaquin Phoenix. Did I say? Don't tell me. Hold on 1 second. I did say Joaquin Phoenix. Colin says, "Be sick of Joaquin Phoenix joined WWE." Listen, dude. If I said Joaquin Phoenix, I'll take that hit. It's been a long day. All right, so I don't want to hear it. Joaquin Wild, my bad. All right, that's who I meant. Joaquin Phoenix would be sick on the mic though. Dude can cut a promo. You ever see him on like Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel? Dude, sick bastard. And also see him in his movies. He's a sick actor. So I definitely said Joaquin Phoenix. It's a rare name, Joaquin, right? So let's take that. I'll take that hit though. Yeah, I'd love to see Carlito take Santos Escobar to the next level. I think that's where it should go for sure. All right. Now we got Cody and Jey Uso on the sticks here on the press conference. So I'll watch that later for sure. Nice little surprise. I think if you're in the sports bubble and pay attention, you would know Pat McAfee is in Indianapolis, a former Indianapolis Colt, and he lives in that state and city. And it was almost like a given that he'd probably show up to this event tonight because they're in Indianapolis. But he comes out with the Colts title belt that they just started making, the NFL belt. So I thought that was pretty cool. Cuts a promo in the ring and kind of teases that Indianapolis getting a WrestleMania. I think that's like the new thing now. If you come and show up and cut a promo, you say, should this city get a WrestleMania? And then everyone goes fucking wild. That's what Cena did in London. So, I mean, props to McAfee for being aware of the situation. I think seeing McAfee is always fun. I think if you are a fan, because I know not everyone is a fan, seeing him and having him on commentary is always a fun time. I think he's a breath of fresh air. We're all big fans of him here in WrestleBuzz. So like, shout out to McAfee. Glad he was there. I would love to see, him and Graves always go back and forth. I would love to see them have a match. I know Graves is 50. We don't really know if he's medically clear or not, but you never know. And I think if he was medically clear, I think him versus McAfee would always be a fun little program, if you know what I'm saying. So good to see McAfee show up, and he was there to call the Cena and LA Knight versus Bloodline match. And I think, we got what we got with that one. I mentioned before, a lot of typical babyface versus heel booking. And again, nothing wrong with it, but this another match that was, set up for this. And you have Cena, who's, as I call him now, which I mean, you could argue is the greatest of all time, and LA Knight, who's on the rise of a century. It's been a long time since we've seen something like this, and to get this kind of reaction and this organic reaction, as they say, maybe since like Daniel Bryan. So it's huge. It was a huge deal, and they get the win over the Bloodline. I thought it was a great match. I mean, again, nothing groundbreaking. We got what we got. It was who was in the match, right? I mean, you're not going to get the best in-ring ability, but you also get a fun match, and the crowd loved it, and it was a fun time. I think notes that I took away from it was, I think someone questioned in the press conference right before I came on, like LA Knight grabbed Cena's hand this time and raised it after the match. I don't think we should look into that too much, but you never know. Could it mean something for the future? Who knows? But I also saw Paul Heyman after the match go on his phone and say, "We have a problem." And I'm assuming it's an LA Knight problem. So Roman Reigns coming back this week to SmackDown. Could this be the start of the program with LA Knight? And I think it's something we should really look out for, man. We got a few. What do we have? Crown Jewel early November, or is it the end of? I think it's early November, usually when they do it, and then we have Survivor Series following. So, I mean, is it the time? I don't know. There's so many questions when it involves Roman, right? First of all, is LA Knight the guy? You could argue it. Should Roman lose the title? You could argue it. But looking at like WrestleMania, the potential there, we all know like where it should probably happen. So I don't know. But yeah, fun match. Cena LA Knight get the dub. How long do we have Cena for in WWE? I think someone said till the end of October, so we have a few more weeks. What else do you do with him? Do you run it back on SmackDown, another tag team match or something like that? It is the season premiere of SmackDown this Friday, so we'll see how they treat it. But I wouldn't expect anything less than what we've gotten lately. So it should be a fun ride heading into the Halloween season and Crown Jewel. So we'll see where that goes. All right. And the final match, short card tonight. So this might be a quickie today. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke in the last man standing match. I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. And I know heading into the match, a lot of people, let's just say a few people I've seen online, kind of down on the stipulation. I love last man standing matches. I think they're perfect for this kind of feud. I think it makes both competitors better than what we've gotten in the past. I think Shinsuke, the run they've put Shinsuke on has been top notch. It's what he needed. Now, whether or not you wanted him to win the title, I mean, if he did, then I'm sorry, but I think Seth needed to still hold on to it. So, I think it was the right move. I love what they've done with Shinsuke, though, man. I think they've really changed the way people are going to look at him going forward. I think this feud's done, and maybe one more, but I wouldn't see why that would make sense. Maybe like another shot on Raw at some point, and then he ended there. But I really do see people still. I think they're working on Drew coming up as that top heel, and then that's where him and Seth are going to collide. So we'll see where that goes. Alex says Seth versus the world. Hell yeah, dude. I mean, Seth has got to go through everybody. It's him versus the world. Like you said, I think eventually I just said Drew, and I think if Drew's not the one, then maybe Gunther is the guy. And I think that's where we stop it there. But I love it. I think he's one of the best in the business, man. He's fucking awesome. So shout out to Seth. Colin says, did Seth get up from too many big moves? Yeah, I mean, they worked the back going into this match. I think you could look at it that way for sure. I just thought it was a fucking bad. I mean, I thought it was just badass that he got up from the stuff. A lot of stuff was fucking brutal though. I did see someone post something on Twitter like there was a spot outside the ring and there was like you could see the padding on top of the table. They definitely didn't really hide away from that, but he definitely got up from a lot of stuff for sure. I like the mist spot though. It looked like the red mist. I thought that was pretty cool. I think they kind of like added a little. If you came in late to the match, or you turned away for a second, it looked like it was blood. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I think he definitely they could have limited spots for him to get through, but it just showed perseverance on his side, and I think they just made him look stronger than ever. And I think I don't think there's much of an issue with that though. Um, Alex says, "Guy can't lose the title. Seth versus Punk at Mania." Whew. Seth versus Punk at Mania. I mean, I'd love to see it if Punk shows up. Why not? I don't know if it needs a title though, because then I don't know. I could see that being non-title, and I'd be okay with that for sure. But either way, Seth versus Punk at Mania is something I definitely would want to be there live for, brother. Alex says, by the way, watching the press conference right now, Jay and Cody are absolutely hammered and it's hysterical. I'm looking. They're looking a little buzzed. What do you think they were drinking in the back? Whiskey? I know Cody's definitely a whiskey guy. Jay looks more like a what does Jay Uso drink? Hennessy? Is that like did I go there? He looks like a Hennessy type of guy. Hennessy White. Isn't that like illegal in almost like 50 states? Or at least in New York. But I don't know. We'll see. I'd love to have a fucking drink with them though. It'd probably be a good ass time. Colin says if Cody goes to SmackDown, who is next for Seth? I don't know. I don't know if they're there yet, but I definitely think someone that could be next for Seth, if not like next week, but like soon, is definitely Drew. I think they're riding that heel turn pretty strong now. I think he's almost like I'd say he's like 80% the way there. I mean, I know he just beat up the Miz, which is kind of like babyface in a sense, but the way he's been acting, I think is more heel than anything. I think him versus Seth would be a great program leading into whatever show is next. And whether or not he wins, that's the question, right? So but I'd love to see Drew versus Seth. That could be a Mania match though, too, right? So maybe it's not next. Who else is there on the Raw roster that we can well, does it really have to be Raw? I feel like they kind of been letting people choose which side they kind of want to go on. Let's see. Can I do Raw? Yeah, okay. Well, here we go. And it may not be a popular opinion. Like, right off the bat, I'm going ABC order, but Bronson Reed has been making a case to be at least be a competitor as like a top heel. It may not be like you can't say mid card because that would be Gunther. I don't think that makes sense yet, but I mean he could be someone. Drew is there. Who else is a top heel? No one really. KO and Sammy are doing their thing as baby faces. Ricochet, no, he's a baby face. The Miz, maybe. I gotta ride with Drew being next, I think. When does Priest cash in? Oh, when does Priest cash in then, in your opinion? That's from Colin. I don't know. You know what? There's a lot of conspiracy theories online that when JD McDonough gave him that purple briefcase, he took the original contract in the old one and is going to like feed it to Finn or something like that. I don't know how I would feel about that. I think it's a little too much, a little too crazy. And, but it actually wouldn't be, I think it's like a wild story that like, I guess if it happened, it happened and it would be sick, but I don't know if that's the way they want to go with it. If he doesn't though, and he actually has the briefcase and cashes in, there's so much I think there's so much going on with the Judgment Day right now. I don't think it's the right time. I think he still technically has till what is it, July to cash in. So I don't know if I'd rush it either. I'd say even hold on to it past Mania. Why not? I feel like the last time we haven't seen that the briefcase being held on to for that long in a long ass time. So I'd say wait till after Mania. Now I'm out of water and now I'm gonna be fucking parched. Alex says, is Cody and Jay just a pass through for DIY? And when do they face each other for the titles with Survivor Series on the rise? I'd like to think that that's, a placeholder for DIY. I don't know if they're the ones that they defended against, or maybe they do. I don't know. But I don't know what other tag. I guess because the Viking Raiders are split up. They're hurt right now. What other tag teams are on Raw that could really be? I mean, uh, Alpha Academy and Imperium and DIY now. I don't know. They might be doing. I think they might. This is the time for them to go over to SmackDown and kind of maybe defend them over there. I'm not really sure what the plan is for this. That's why I was kind of shocked. Um, especially because we're watching them now, Cody and Jay. They're the happiest dudes on earth, but top baby faces. Do you have them lose to DIY to start off? I don't know. Survivor Series is coming up, like you said. I think is War Games happening? Did they? I don't know if they announced that, but that would be an interesting feat to see these two guys are part of a War Games team. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. That's why I'm kind of confused, where they're going to go with this, man. And but I mean, I'm glad DIY is back, and I love to see where they go with that. But I think this is just like you said, a placeholder until that next level. I don't think DIY takes it off of them, though. That's the thing. They have to get to I don't know. There was rumors of Authors of Pain coming back. Now that would be something. I'd love to see them back in the mix. So, and then maybe a team from NXT comes up. I don't know. We'll see. Good question, though. Colin said, would Reigns step in and grab Solo to win the tag back to the Bloodline, starting another feud with Cody? Like he's fed up. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, shit. Remember when they went for the tag titles originally? I don't know. I'd ride with that. I think we got to see Roman come back and defend the title, though. I think he's been gone for a little bit. Where I think he's due to come back and defend his title. Would I mind if he got the tag titles? No, but I'd also like to see him on TV if he did have both. Could be something, though. It could be something for sure. We'll see. I'm kind of intrigued to, with, like I said before, the season premiere SmackDown coming up on Friday with Roman coming back, what's next, and then like I said, Heyman making that call to him before saying we have a problem, and it seems to be LA Knight. That might be the next thing for Roman right now. Dexter coming back. Are they going to bring the Way back, you think, with Indy? I know Indy just had her little match in NXT, but we haven't seen Candice in a while. The Way with Ciampa. They were fun in NXT, man. They were really entertaining, so I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing it at all. So I miss Dexter. We haven't seen him in a while either. I think they kind of kept him all off TV until it was the right time, and that's definitely a Triple H move. I feel like if Vince was fully in charge, they all would have been released. They wouldn't let them, sit home for this long and not come back and contribute. So I think we're going to see now that DIY is back together, I think we'll see more of, the counterparts, whether it's Indy, Candice, Dexter, etc. A nice little group there. So that should be fun. All right, Triple H is up right now on the press conference. I think we covered the whole show. Again, it was a short show, and it was a lot of fun. I think it was a solid 5-match show, and we have a few weeks or almost a month until the next pay-per-view. So I'd love to come back on here again, maybe just shoot the shit about whatever's going on in the week, and we can touch base again, doing a little live stream. I had a lot of fun. So thanks for everyone that came and chimed in, Colin, Alex, etc. You guys are the men. You guys are the best. Appreciate it. If you're listening on the podcast, follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on anywhere on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What is it? TikTok, Threads, anywhere there's social media. X, not Twitter. I'm sorry. Yeet. And follow us there. If you want to subscribe to us on anywhere you download podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, etc. You can go do that. Support us, prowrestlingtees.com/WrestleBuzz. Buy a t-shirt. You can support us there. And, everyone, just take care. Enjoy wrestling. It's a good time, man. We got AEW, a lot of things going on in AEW, potential CM Punk sightings coming up soon. It's a good time, man. So yeah, check us out anywhere, social media, podcast, YouTube, and all. Appreciate everyone that came by, and see y'all later. Peace.